If you're new to collecting Warhammer 40,000 or just looking for a different way to build your army, then the new-ish weekly magazine called Imperium could be a good way to go. It's priced at £8.99, which I believe is somewhere around $12, maybe. It comes with a small magazine with a little bit of lore, some instructions on how to build and paint your miniatures, and then some fun short games that you can play at the end. Each issue comes with a free gift, usually a miniature, a full sprue of miniatures, or maybe some paints or scenery. Pretty much everything you need to start to play Warhammer 40k. It's expected to run for 80 issues, so over the full run that ends up as quite the investment. But is it worth it? In this video we'll be breaking down everything that you get over the 80 issues to find out if the Imperium magazine is good value for money. Let's get into it. First of all guys, I want to mention that all this hard work and research was already done by Warhammer, an absolutely fantastic hobbyist website that I highly recommend checking out. They put out an article on this topic a few months ago, but I only came across it recently, and I thought it would be great to share this information with you guys. So here we go. The idea of the Imperium magazine is to give buyers, by the end, two large opposing armies with scenery, to play as many fully fledged games of 40k as you want. We can see from this full image from Games Workshop everything you should receive by the end of the 80 issues. When I say everything, that's actually a lie, as some of the issues of course come with paints and things like that as well, other accessories that you will find very useful during your time building these armies. So there's actually a lot more to it than seen here, but you get the idea of the scale that's involved. Now, if we are talking purely about the costs of the miniatures featured here, it would set you back approximately £320 or $580 for Space Marines, £125 or $210 in Sisters of Battle, £105 or $170 in Adeptus Mechanicus, and an insane £547 or about $880 in Necrons. And then finally £157 or approximately $260 in terrain and scenery. That totals about £1,250 or $2,100 if you bought all of these miniatures individually through GW. That is a lot of money right there. Now, if you pick up every copy of the Imperium magazine, it will cost you just over £700 or about $950. That's a total saving of £550 or $1,153, which, if you ask me, is absolutely insane. Now, please bear in mind that I'm of course working off the prices we get here in the UK. Things may differ if you're overseas, but you can see based purely on the British prices that this is fantastic value for money. And let's not forget that these prices do not include any of the paints, brushes and other free gifts, which at a rough guess would probably add an additional £100 or £200 in value. I will go through the advantages of subscribing to this magazine and how you can do so in a minute, but first I want to give you 40k players more info on how the miniatures that are included translate to points in game, a currency that many of you may care more about. So in total you receive 2,196 points worth of Space Marines, 450 points of Sisters of Battle, 310 points of Adeptus Mechanicus, and 2,304 points of Necrons. Quite a tasty army there on either side. However, if you count the Space Marines, the Sisters and the Admech as the one Imperium army, then the two opposing armies are actually quite unbalanced, with the forces of the Imperium having roughly 600 extra points than the Necrons. But with the massive variety of missions and games that you get in the back of each magazine, it doesn't really matter. The goal isn't really to make one huge, evenly matched battle. So again, if you ask me, good value for money. Now, how can you go about subscribing to Imperium? You can do it directly through the publishers. Hatchet, not quite sure how it's pronounced. And although I've seen other channels and websites say that you should subscribe through other sites and companies, I think doing it directly is probably the best way to go. The main reason being you get a few cool free gifts, including plastic glue, clippers, a binder and dividers that is a must for the magazines, a brush set, art prints, and a paint-in handle. Again, all very useful if you're just getting into the hobby. If you're an experienced collector or player, these may be of very little use to you. Now, if you do subscribe directly, there's also the option to go premium. You'll be paying an additional £2 per issue, but you will receive 4 additional armies: Chaos Marines, Tau, Orcs, and Tyranids. And while it works out at roughly £40 per set over the entire collection, which isn't the best value for money, it's still a decent saving. And these are models that I would like to have, but probably wouldn't go out of my way to get. So I was personally pretty happy to pay the additional to get them. Having said that, I'm a huge collecting nerd, so I just like to get my hands on as many miniatures as I can. Finally, although this is a weekly magazine, if you subscribe directly, you will receive 4 issues in a monthly delivery instead of 1 per week. Your other option is of course to subscribe through other sites such as Forbidden Planet or your local newsagents. This option may work out cheaper and you'll get the issues weekly, but you will not get the free gifts. So that's a decision for you guys to make depending on what exactly you want out of this magazine. So to conclude, I would say that yes, Imperium Magazine is fantastic value for money. And if you are new to the hobby and looking for a way in, this is ideal. It works out much cheaper. You can cancel your subscription a few weeks in if you decide it's not for you. You don't have the commitment of paying £100 plus for a starter set and then deciding that you don't like it. Overall, it's roughly a 70% save percentage on the full collection of magazines, which, as I'm sure you'll agree, is pretty good. Once again guys, if you want a more detailed breakdown on this stuff, as well as a list of contents for each individual issue, check out Fohammer's website. It's what I use and check regularly, and I highly recommend that you guys check it out as well. That's it from me today, my friends. Let me know in the comments down below, do you want to see some Warhammer 40k battle reports? Would you like to see us get some guest expert players on the channel? We'd love to start playing with other players. Aside from that, don't forget to let us know what other Middle-earth scenarios you want to see played out on this channel. We are looking forward to reading your suggestions in the comments. Thank you all so much for your time in watching today's video, guys. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next time on the Tabletop Alliance.